Hello, good day everyone. I am Palateo and together with me is Gail Perez. And now we are going to talk about my teacher's way of delivering the contents of the lesson for understanding. Hello, good day everyone. I am Palateo and here are my top 3 teachers and their methods of delivering instructions and lessons that shape who I am today. So each of these wonderful teachers assisted me throughout my learning and influenced how I see the teaching career. Now, let's start. First is Ma'am Mary Ann Fuentes. She was my grade 7 advisor and English teacher. She made a big impact on my speaking skills such as intonation, pronunciation, etc. She is a great speaker in our town where she hosts our town Sinulog Festival and mass ceremonies. Now, in the classroom context, she encourages teamwork and leadership by organizing activities that require her students to work together, like speech choir, drama, and so on. She also uses bright and captivating visual aids to make her lessons more interesting and help her students grasp concepts easily. In fact, our classroom back then was so colorful and well organized. Well, she is firm when giving instructions because she is kind of strict. She motivates students to push themselves and achieve higher goals, just like how she motivated me to engage in my own community. During Holy Mass, I was a lay reader back then, and I also participated in leadership and community projects such as clean and green programs. So she encouraged me. Overall, this teacher is a second parent, a motivator, a leader, and a trainer. Second is Ma'am Flora Gentales. She was my grade 8 advisor and my English teacher that year also, and I received a high grade of 98 in her class, which eventually led me to this course because of that grade. She's very like what an English teacher you imagine to be. I say she's very well spoken and kind, and she also possesses fluency in the English language and effectively delivers comprehensive English lessons. She communicates complex ideas with ease, making the learning process accessible and enjoyable for us, her students. We never had a dull moment with her during English class. In addition to that, in addition to her language skills, she's very techy and she embraces technology as a teaching tool. She incorporates it in her lessons to enhance engagement and facilitate interactive learning experiences in the classroom. Moreover, this teacher also values and recognizes the hard work of her students. She regularly rewards their efforts and accomplishments with things or words of encouragement. Lastly, she fosters a positive and motivating classroom environment, encouraging students to strive for excellence and take pride in their achievement. I can say that she influenced many of us now, especially me. Lastly is Sir Alan Alberto. He is an excellent science teacher who excels at cultivating critical thinking skills through logical reasoning. He helps learners analyze and evaluate scientific concepts, resulting in a better understanding of the subject. Also, this teacher values friendship and cultivates a strong rapport with students, resulting in a welcoming and supportive classroom environment where we can share problems, laughter, and life bits of advice. He prioritizes effective communication with students, actively listening to them, and encouraging open dialogue to address any questions or concerns before and after discussion. He's also very organized and clean, so he encourages us to collaborate in making our classroom clean and our garden to be fruitful. Additionally, he encourages students to conduct independent research, allowing us to explore scientific topics beyond the classroom. This approach promotes curiosity, self directed learning, and motivation. Sir Alan Alberto, as I remember him, was like a friend and a teacher in one.
Good day, everyone. My name is Shasta T. Perez, and here are three of my favorite teachers and their methods of delivering the lessons, which significantly enhanced my understanding. Each teacher employed unique approaches that really resonated with me and has contributed to my academic growth. So, let's start. So first is Sir Chris Angelo Villanueva. So he was my teacher from grade 3 to grade 6. And he was also a musician, and specifically he played the piano. So one of his methods was to incorporate music to make the class lively and active. So I would remember Sir would give I remember Sir would make these music, or he would make these tunes for us to listen to, and this was especially effective when lessons contained difficult terms, such as it could have been dates or names of important people, and giving them tunes would make or help me understand and remember these terms better, so I can recall them better when I would try to sing them, and when they had a tune. Next method was he used colorful and engaging visual aids such as pictures, charts, and props. So this is where I learned that I was a visual learner and that I understand content and information better when I can see them visually, when I see them in graphs, when there are images that are incorporated. So he would use these flashcards that had pictures and images, and especially in math, since it was quite a hard subject for me, I had to learn it visually. So he would give us like physical representations of numbers and the likes, and this really did help me to better understand the topic or the lesson that was given to us that day. The next teacher is Professor Sabrina Trasmonte. So she was our GE3 or Contemporary World professor in our first year college. And one of the methods that really made her class interesting was that she made the lessons relate to real life experiences or these familiar situations that made it more relevant and relatable to us, her students. Since her subject really did involve revolved around real life and current issues, these lessons, she would present them in such a way that we, her students, would relate. So she would give her opinions, and she would also ask for our opinions. And we always had fruitful discussions, and her discussions were always quite lively and enjoyable. Another method that she did was she provides opportunities for small group discussions and collaboration. So she would give us a prompt or like a specific issue, and she would let us give our opinions, our thoughts, and it was through this that we could make comments to the opinions of our classmate, to her opinions, to oppose, and again, the discussion was always quite lively, and she would always deliver the lessons very, very well, which led us to not only enjoying her class but also made us understand the lessons comprehensively. And last, but definitely not the least, is Dr. Rosemary T. Pinili. So Dr. Pinili, her subjects with us has always been about literature. We also tackled about mythology and folklore. And one method she employed was reading aloud with expression, pausing for discussion and questions. So Ma'am Pinili would always discuss or tell stories in such a way that she is really immersed in the telling of this story. And as her listeners, we were very intrigued and we really did listen. And it is through this, through her passionate reading, it allowed us to really understand these complex literary pieces, these stories, and she would also pause for discussion and ask us questions to gain also our insights and to for her to comment on what we think and what we think of that literary art piece. Another method was she provides cultural and historical context of the lesson. So one thing we did was to report the different literary pieces during different literary periods. And she encouraged us to provide cultural and the historical context of those literary pieces. This enabled us to really understand, or to really deeply understand, the complexities of that literary piece, the influences, what influenced it during its time period, this people, the people, their behavior, the society during that certain literary period. And next, another method she did was she encouraged her students to compare different books, authors, or types of written styles. So one thing that she always did, to us specifically during our mythology class, mythology and folklore. So we had different mythologies. We have the Greek mythology, Norse mythology, Chinese mythology, Philippine mythology, and she would encourage us to really compare and contrast throughout the discussion. This enabled us to think critically and understand the lessons much better, because as we go with the discussion, we were trying to build connections with the differences and the similarities of these different mythologies. And we really did, or at least I really learned so much about it, and it also led me to really dissect and think critically with these different mythologies. So that is all for the three teachers and their different ways and methods in delivering the lessons or the content. And now let us head to the next activity, the use of essential questions. Number one, in the delivery of service to the community where you may be helping, what are the lights and shadows of being too centered on contents? Being excessively focused on content in the delivery of service to a community has both its bright and dark sides. So, on the positive end, focusing on content cultivates a deep understanding of these pertinent issues, enhancing resourcefulness and professionalism among service providers, in this case, us teachers. Additionally, focusing on content aids in community education by imparting valuable knowledge and skills. However, focusing too much on the content also has its drawbacks or downsides. One, it can lead to inflexibility, causing a disconnect from the genuine needs of the community. Moreover, it may fail to empower community members adequately. Instead, it overwhelms them with an excess of information that may not be directly applicable to their situation. Thus, while content centeredness can be beneficial in certain respects, it's crucial to balance it with the flexibility and responsiveness to the community's specific needs and circumstances.
Number two, what do you wish in order to be more innovative in communicating your projects or program to the community? Is it possible to be accomplished within the framework you set? In today's interconnected world, effective communication plays an important role in conveying projects and programs to the community or a bigger population. So, to truly enhance innovation in the community, it is crucial to utilize the power of technology and social media currently. So these tools provide us with opportunities to engage and interact with the community through utilizing visual presentations and creative videos that will captivate people's attention to be curious and then take part. So, by aligning our communication strategies with the needs of the community, we can create more meaningful and impactful projects and programs that will benefit humanity and as long as it is feasible within the framework we set. So, in conclusion, by adapting our communication methods to align with the community's preferences and needs, we can shape stronger connections where we cooperate with each other and then we foster greater understanding despite our differences and then ultimately drive positive change in the community as a whole.
Third question: what should be the best approach in communicating with the community using your knowledge of the contents of your lessons? Effectively communicating the knowledge we have from learned content to the community involves a nuanced understanding of their needs and cultural context. So, by delving into the intricacies of a community's values and concerns, we can tailor our messages to resonate deeply with them. Clarity is, of course, important. Our message should be easily digestible and devoid of jargons or technical terms or difficult terms. So, incorporating concrete examples and visuals can further enhance comprehension and engagement, making our communication more relatable and memorable to a community. It is crucial and important to center our discussions around topics that hold significance to a particular community, demonstrating our commitment to addressing their priorities and fostering a sense of shared purpose. Additionally, actively soliciting feedback and encouraging open dialogue not only strengthens the relationship but also demonstrates our receptiveness to their perspectives and concerns, fostering a culture of trust and collaboration within the community.